Hi, thank you for joining me. I'm Dawn, the Recovery Lady, and thank you for joining me in my first ever video for YouTube for my new channel. They call me the Recovery Lady because I believe in recovery, and not recovery of stolen goods, recovery of things that don't work, but recovery of our lives, recovery of our souls. And I have worked a lot of recovery programs because when things are large and things are traumatic, we need a village, we need a group to go through things with. So it is my intent to start this channel doing a series on empty nesting. That's a phase I'm in myself right now, and it has been very challenging. I realized as the loneliness and like the depression and the void in my soul kicked in, the lack of purpose, that I was going to need some support on this. And it's different than reading a book. Reading a book, it's a good tool, but it's also isolating for me. So I'm hoping to build a community on this particular journey. Speaking about empty nesting, I am a behavioral health clinician. However, this is not clinical advice. This is support. This is community. I'm hoping to build community here of people wanting to get through different things in their lives, share our strengths, share our weaknesses, and go through the middle. There's no way to go through something except right through the middle. I've seen in my career and in my personal life and my own experience that when we try to shortcut something and just go around it, it's going to be a longer journey. But every time we speak it, it loses power. Every time we share it, it's a victory, as long as we're not wallowing in it. For empty nesting and in general in life, I'm a faith-based woman, and one of the favorite passages I have is in Psalm 23. It says, we walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Walk, that's an action word, movement, but we were never meant to camp. Sit there, put a stick in the ground, sit in the mud, and wallow in our grief. We have to keep moving. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but it means we're getting to the other side. It's the quickest way to get through. So with all that, building a community, this is going to be a clean channel, no cussing, no vulgar words, please. If you comment down below, hopefully you'll subscribe, listen every now and then. If anybody's listening to this right now, yay, because you do the first one and you just hope, but it only takes one person, two people, and we have a group. So it is going to be a clean, no hating, horrible criticism of each other, and no profanity. Yeah, so it is a safe place to be. So in starting in our first series here, talking about being an empty nester, which I shared is a phase I'm in right now, and I'm right in the middle of it, and it's been very, very painful. I have two adult children. One just got married, one's out of the house, and empty nest syndrome is described as the grief parents feel when our children move out of the house. It affects more women than men. Doesn't mean it can't affect men, because in general in history, we are the primary parent caregivers to our children, raising them. And most of the folks are between the 40s, higher end 40s through the 60s and on. That's the core area of ages and what it looks like in empty nesting. So why do we suffer as empty nesters? They're gone. We get to do what we want. Well, here's the thing. When you have spent 20 years, 20 plus years at a job, if you're counting pregnancy, adoption, however your kids came to be your kids, you're investing all of yourself. If you were at a job that long, you'd be investing all of yourself. But we're shaping humans for the future. So when that job description goes away, and that's been our primary role, especially for me as a single parent, anticipating that there would be a point in life where I ended up with my spouse, and it didn't end up that way, it's even a different level of loneliness as a single parent. But no matter how hurt you are, how hard this is, whether it's just a little uncomfortable or you're just flat out depressed, your hurt and your pain matter. It's all the same to God, and we need to share our stories to help each other get through. So that's what empty nesting is. It is when our children move out, they don't need us so much anymore. Mostly females, average age, high 40s up through the 60s. Now, what happens when we get empty nest syndrome? Let's just look at a definition. We get sadness. Oftentimes, there's a lot of sadness. Sadness now there's some people that are dancing, jumping, so happy. Hey, they're gone. I get a life. And that's okay too. But there's also the sadness, not just that the child is gone, because you might be pretty happy about that. You may have a child, an adult child now that wasn't that easy to raise. And whether your energy was going toward, hey, bailing somebody out of jail, or, overachiever, and putting your energy in that, it's defined the role of who we are. So when that role is stripped away from us, it's like, who am I? What do I do? What do I do with this big ball of void? This is how it's feeling for me. I should speak for myself. What do I do with all this love I have to give, with all this energy I have? Because I'll tell you one thing, my adult kids aren't asking for it. Best advice I got becoming an empty nester was keep your welcome mat. I can't remember who told me, keep your welcome mat out and your mouth zipped. Welcome mat's always out. Mouth is not always zipped for me. And I try, but I just think, I may just save you some grief and tell you how this should be or help you get this done. And you know what that robs? I realize robs my kids of their dignity. I have trained them to the best of my ability to take care of themselves. So when I'm trying to interject and get in there and fix it, I realize kind of telling them they don't have what it takes to do it. And that's not the person I want to be anymore. So I'm recognizing this in myself and confessing it to you. And along with that, we go through sadness of just our role. And what do we do now? Anxiety, that empty space, not having, especially as a single parent, not having anybody to come home and talk to you, to run your day by. Shoot, I could be passed out on the floor. Nobody would know. All those fears that go through our minds. There's all different types of anxiety, and we'll talk about that in the next episode. And none are wrong. And our loss of purpose, which I touched on. What am I here for now? Doesn't mean you don't have a job or a church or a fellowship or a temple or wherever you go, wherever you find your higher power. But this is a psychological condition that hits a lot of people. It can last for weeks, up to years. I've done some research. It looks like 2 months to a year seems to be a healthy average to go through the steps. So what are the steps? We never want to have a problem without a solution. I have taught groups, sat in groups, and we all know what the problem is. For me, I'm very solution oriented. Tell me what I need to do, give me the steps to do it, and I'm going to do it. And that's kind of how I roll. So that's just the intro of where we're going, and I hope you'll join me again. Please, please, please subscribe to my channel or share it if you know anybody going through empty nesting right now, just feeling all those feelings and looking for a journey, because this is going to be conquering empty nesting. Not just surviving, we're going to conquer it and get to the other side. And we'll go into more of the symptoms and be moving into the solution of what we need to do to get to the other side in the next episodes. For today, thank you for joining me. Love you guys so much. Thank you for this slicing out this time of your life to listen. And I look forward to more in the next one. Bye.